GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
It's acting weird today. Welcome, everybody, to our Wednesday Instagram wrap-up, where we take a look at what's been going on the Instagrams and chat about it. So not just everything that goes on, but the stuff that has the most focus on the Second Amendment. Just want to take a moment and let everybody know that today is Wednesday. We record this on Wednesdays, and we do it intentionally right before one of the best conversations each week about the Second Amendment, and that's on Rapid Fire Radio. A gun shop out of Massachusetts hosts a radio show. I started listening to it a little over a year ago, I think, at this point, and I'm a big fan. I appreciate people that keep a community going. Oh, I didn't do good links there. I appreciate people that put effort into this kind of stuff that matters, and Cape Gunworks does that. Toby does that with effort, with effectiveness, like with a flair. He does it well. So anyway, we want to do the show on Wednesday specifically so that we can link over to that. And now I think I finally can quit being distracted, because I think I finally got a good link over there. I messed up the link originally here, but it looks like today on the Cape Gunworks show, they do the first hour the same each week. They talk about news of the day, things that are going on. People call in. There's other ways that people communicate with the show, and they address all that. It's usually pretty fun, goes by pretty quick. And then he has a second hour with a guest, and that's a long format interview. And today it's with Gabby Franco. So that'll be great. Come here, buddy. What are you making all the noises about? Come here. Little dude was on the floor today. Grab him up here. I'm not supposed to bring dogs to the show, but I do it all the time. So let's say hey to people that are joining us live before we get started here. Chicago Mike, first one to jump in. Good afternoon. Mike White saying hey. Good afternoon. Good morning for some of us. No, it's not. It's afternoon. I guess he's standing up here no matter what. He doesn't have his normal co-host little seat, so he's uprooted and upset, but he's dealing with it. What we're going to be talking about here is Instagram, so why don't I bring some Instagrams up onto the screen? And I don't even have any of them open, so it tells you how much I'm paying attention this morning. All right, so let's bring it open. If you're watching us live, if you're joining us live, I should say, then let us know you're out there. Otherwise, how do we know you're there? We'll click the screen share. I'm almost done. You don't know what I'm doing, but I'm clicking a bunch of buttons over on this side, and boom, we are on. Are we on the Instagram? We are. All right. So thanks everybody for your patience as I get the ball rolling here. And now we'll zoom in. I just hold down the control key on the keyboard and wiggle my scroll wheel. That'll make my images get bigger. I enhanced the images. So this is our Instagram. This is the alert letting people know about this show, the alert from last Friday. But what we're going to be digging into is this saved folder. And these are the things that I've saved throughout the week that we chat about on Wednesdays. Probably won't be that much. I've been pretty busy with the project. So it looks like we got just about 40-something minutes before Cape Gunworks starts. Usually I don't meet that deadline, but we'll see if we can do it today. Does anyone remember where we ended? I'm pretty sure we kind of ran through some of these at the end of last week's show. So, what is this about being a Marine? Oh, well, this is worth talking about.
I loved it. I loved being a Marine. But I found I loved the Marine Corps the most for the thing I was looking for the least when I joined, which was the people. These weird dudes. A motley crew of characters from a cross-section of the United States that on the surface I had nothing in common with. I joined the Marine Corps and I loved it. I loved being a Marine. But I found I loved the Marine Corps the most for the thing I was looking for the least.
So that's the dude who's in the one Star Wars movie. I never heard of him before the Star Wars movie, but yeah, it's a Marine, and sounds like he had a pretty good thing to say about the Marines at some sort of an event in Alabama, I think. Let's see, we've got Rick Ector talking to Gun Owners of America. It's a friend of ours down in Mexico that is a dentist that makes little tiny miniature things. He made this little miniature robot arm. It's pretty cool. I guess it's small. I guess you wouldn't call that miniature, but it is pretty small. First, he gave it a shotgun.
Epoxy users, artists, crafters, resin art.
I don't know why I'm posting this one in here, but I thought that was cute. That was interesting. This is something that you could make literally with a potato and some caulk, and you could make a fortune with a potato and some caulk. That's what I'm saying. That's pretty much what happened right here in front of you. So we'll go on to the next one. Stephen Holbrook was talking to Four Boxes Diner last week, and this was the Instagram post talking about it. Probably worth checking out. It's like a 30-minute interview. Those are two heavy hitters in the Second Amendment, what do you call that, judicial realm. Speaking of heavy hitters, we have our friend She Fires, has the 2A rated brand thing going. So not only the wristbands, which she had for a while, but now she's got some merch as well. So if you want to check that out, she has 2A rated training is her, I guess it's not so much a brand as it is what she's calling her training. Getting that conflated. So here's the channel over on the Instagram. Now I get it. Now I'm up to speed. So if you want to support somebody who is supporting the community and a member of our audience, then check out She Fires with her 2A rated channel. I thought it was just branding at first because I thought it was like a merch thing. Now I get it. It's the merch for the training facility. Unfortunately, she has a 9mm there next to it, but they can do. The fad lives on. What was this? So, this was pretty funny. So I'm going to put this up with volume. I don't think it matters where I start this. Well, it probably does. So I'm going to go back and hit the volume. See if we can get this to start with volume. So they record smacking on that door, and then they put that speaker up there, a Bluetooth speaker, and then they keep playing the sound of smacking the door through the Bluetooth speaker. The guy goes back inside, and then comes outside. So it's a high-tech game of Ding Dong Ditch. Pretty funny. So I think it's in Russia. Oh, come on. What happened? So next up is the story of, why did I save this one? This one is this is a year after this happened. This is the Virginia Citizens Defense League posted about this. But this was that event in Colorado where the guy stopped a spree killer and then went over and was fiddling with the guy's AR-15 for some reason. And I can only imagine that's the point I was going to talk about, is don't go over and fiddle with somebody else's AR-15 right after you had to stop a spree killing. It's probably not a good idea in any way, shape, or form, but it certainly didn't work out well for this guy or the police or anybody else involved. So there's a lot of variables involved. Don't add to the variables, I guess. If hindsight's always 20/20, but I guess that's a lesson to be learned from that. So I say hey to Gunmetal Guy, welcome. And I think that's everybody. If you're out there, how would I know unless you say something? So next up, we've got Ginny Thrasher, and she's talking about an actual drill. So we talk about Great Start Shooting School, talking about coaching on the line, and we got Ginny Thrasher talking about coaching for Olympics level marksmanship, coaching on the line. So what's wrong with this guy? So let's take a listen to Ginny's advice here, at least a chunk of it.
Tape. This is called the approach drill. So you take a piece of tape, it can be as thick as you want or as thin as you want, and you tape it how you would approach the target, as straight as possible. A little thicker is going to be a little easier, a little thinner is going to be a little harder. You could even, if you want, do a funnel shape. I would recommend doing 10 shots, no monitor or no scope, and then 10 shots with the tape with the monitor or scope. Your scores are going to go down because you're so focused on approach, but that's okay. Then take the tape off and you'll see that your approach is much more consistent. I have a ton of drills like this and better on my Patreon, so the link's below. Okay, I have another drill for you, and all you need is tape. This is called the approach drill. So you take a piece of tape, it can be as thick as you want or as thin as you want, and you...
Hopefully that didn't mess with the audio too bad, but I think I'm having some audio issues. Dang it. So next we get to, what's her face? The vice president? Maybe not. Get to the vice president. Oh, I thought this was a video. It says Vice President Harris's proposes public health gun control remedy. So this is from the NSSF, and it says the Vice President's view on gun control as a public health issue is met with skepticism, as the criminal nature of violence contrasts with medical remedies. Misidentifying the problem as a disease rather than addressing behavioral issues raises concerns. Read more about the debate on gun control efforts and their potential implications. Man, I'd like to support people that are supporting us, but when they are annoying, what are you supposed to do? So they think they dropped the ball. This is like a wet noodle. This is like a sloppy mop job of this one. So this is one of the most crucial things we got going. And, it's the issue that they're trying to spin gun control into a public health, because then you get doctors, right? Where are doctors on guns? So you get doctors on their side, and then they can use the superficial police chiefs as the criminal aspect, and then they claim to know the societal aspect, when in reality, the failures in their policy have created the societal aspect, period, and then health issue has nothing to do with it, and the criminal element is a offset or as a residual of the societal side. So they know that there's three pieces to this. They're intentionally picking one side of that triangle. Obviously, you're going to hand pick the pieces that are going to benefit you the most. We leave this to them. We do not challenge them on this at all, except for like this. And in a time when NSSF will spend effort and resources to teach us about scopes. That's what they're doing out there, is teaching us about how to work a scope, what a difference between different optics are, stuff we do not need from them, when they should be making this consumable, something that's palatable, something that's useful for us to use as advocates, at least in my opinion. So, we're monitoring this, but we're not necessarily digging everything they're putting down.
Think that the origin of gun control isn't racist? Well, then you need to know your history. The origins of gun control is racist and controls the black community, period. Here are some facts to remember. 1811, Louisiana completed gun bans for all slaves. 1819, South Carolina, a master's permission was required for a slave to have a gun. 1825, in Florida, slave and free black homes could be searched by white citizen patrols if those homes were suspected of having any type of firearm or improper weapons, and they could lawfully seize and take those away with no discretion. Sounds like red flag laws to me. 1830.
I dig it. So they're comparing red flag laws today with the bullshit of the past, stuff that we suggest that we're moving beyond, right? That we're growing past. So this is a great way to illustrate or to shine light on the fact that what they're suggesting is actually what's the word, going against what they really want. So I think it's important to get that message across. This is another version of that message. How do I get this thing to just, I mean, it's because I got it too magnified. I'm going to have to unenhance it just a little bit. Is this going to do it? All right. So the 15th, I guess last week, when was the 15th? Oh man, I'm way behind. The 15th was National National Relaxation Day. So if you got one of these puppies, you can rub on it. Are we back? We got browned out. Are we back? Give me some feedback. Give me some feedback. Testing, testing. We've been browned out. We've been browned out. I think we're back. What do you think? Are we back? Do we have the internet again? All right, so we got browned out, and I think we're back again. We'll flip back over to the pre-running situation over here. We will keep the little puppy cam going so everyone can verify that the puppy is okay during the brownout situation. Don't be concerned about the puppy. He lived through it just fine. And I believe that YouTube will just sew all that together so there was no pause for the people in the future. They don't even know that there was a bunch of weirdness just happening right now, except that I'm talking about it. So it's National Relaxation Day last week, so you can take advantage of this week if you missed it. Medical research estimates as much as 90% of illness and disease is stress-related. How will you relax today? I'm going to make a whole channel on different ways that this dog relaxes, different ways of napping and snoozing and also relaxing and snacking. Snacking is a form of relaxation for him. Wait, am I even screen sharing? Ugh, again.
Now at Shepherd Arms, we are offering 30 minutes of free range time at Bear Arms with the purchase of every firearm. All right, we'll see you soon. Come on in.
Okay, so I think we're back. Shepherd Arms, friends up in Wisconsin. And I don't know where Bear Arms is, but I'm guessing that must be a gun range nearby. So I thought that was cool to see a shop cooperating with a range to offer range time with the purchase of a firearm. It's innovative. I dig it.
And the feeling goes on.
Oh my goodness. So there's copyrighted music here that's trendy, but this is from Armed Women of America giving us some insight to their annual convention and skill building. So it's more of a more than a convention. They have skill building exercises and get-togethers and whatnot. It's a little different than Girls and a Gun. So they have a big giant dog there, a bunch of puzzles. Let's see, it says, want a glimpse into what happens at the Armed Women of America conference? Check it out. And then it's got this little clip going round and round. So you got an idea of the scale and the number of attendees and a little bit of the stuff that was happening there. See a couple of DC Project shirts being worn. So next up is Gun Owners of America. Is this right? Do I have about 20 minutes to the top of the hour? Okay. Supreme Court, what do we got going on here? I'll just let you sit here.
This earlier decision that rejected these rules. With a 5-4 vote, the court halted the Texas ruling while the case is being appealed. The regulations treat homemade guns like regular firearms, making it...
So do you need all this video game noise making emphasis with sound effects, shock radio shit?
simpler to track their parts, perform background checks, and to record sales. Biden's rule demands that unfinished firearms parts kits be only sold with background checks. Gun Owners Foundation and Gun Owners of America stand united in the...
You know, back in the day, we would just listen to somebody say something for like a minute. Now, inside the minute, there's got to be these little swips and swaps and flips and flaps. So, you know, we need an update. I believe it would be nice to see the national level organizations offer a weekly summary, a weekly update, a weekly call to action, a weekly diagnosis of the situation, a weekly synopsis of their efforts. We don't see that. I'm not sure why. Are we allowed to ask for that? But we get little swips and swipes and beeps and bops.
Stop this unconstitutional rule.
How about you stop with the beeps and bops and worry less about that kind of dumbass thumb editing and get some, what I just had, some weekly wrap-ups going. NSSF giving us a weekly bullet point. Oh, what do you know? Here's a weekly wrap-up from a national level organization like I was just bitching about. SCOTUS says final rule decision. All right. Don't tell us on what, but 5-4, blah, 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 blah. Receiver. Okay. Could have led with framer receiver final decision, but that's fine. Okay, so we got that. What is the final rule? Now that we know what it is, 5 to 4 to stay. So seriously, the only way you could come up with describing this is in a paragraph, whatever. Schoolhouse Rock wouldn't have made us read a paragraph. You know what I'm saying? NSF challenges Illinois' law. NSSF filed a challenge against Illinois. Blah 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 blah. To industry to frivolous lawsuits for crimes committed by individuals. Okay, again, is there a way to illustrate this? You used half the page to make fun of this guy, I guess. I'm making a weird looking picture of that guy, whoever he is. Illinois' MSR ban upheld. All right, so, they're giving us the update I was asking for, so I'll shut up, I guess. President Biden is reportedly considering a new executive action. This is NSSF. I'd like to see some facts, please. Just facts. And, if you want to put some effort into making the facts presentable and not useful, that'd be awesome too. So it looks like they have a webinar on the 16th. We missed it, but it is cool that they're doing things for the industry, and they're doing it with tech instead of some weird, like everybody has to show up at a place or something. I probably could be reading all those, but I'm going to act like I need to go fast because of the deadline. It was really because it was super boring. So next is Gun Owners Radio. They have a deal here where they say, do you get help with your digital marketing? Let us be your guide. Website development, app development, marketing consulting, social media advertising. Those are things that Gun Owners Radio is now offering. So that's interesting. Hoping to chat with them soon about that concept. This is pretty neat. I think I showed it last week. Can't play the music, but this is a drone that flaps its wings like a bird, and it's a resident. It'll just go up there and stay in place and not necessarily fly around. It can just hang out, and you'll get a filtered version of what its reception looks like here. They're showing you what they see. Now they're showing you a version that you expect to see from a drone. This, I think I definitely talked about all this stuff last week. This was a range that is working together to have a postal shoot where everybody shoots and then compares their scores electronically, in this case. Stephen Holbrook quoted Ida B. Wells when she said that a Winchester rifle should have a place of honor in every black home, which the law refuses to give. It's a neat one. She was one of the first Second Amendment advocates in the country. Foss, I think, was Foss out here a minute ago? Or am I crazy? Oh, maybe I'm crazy. I thought I seen Foss. But I guess he's got to worry about the CCTs. Stephen Holbrook talking about Black Panthers. The widely circulated program of the Black Panther Party in 1966 expressed a common sentiment in the black community. Second Amendment to the Constitution of the United States gives the right to bear arms. We therefore believe that all black people should arm themselves for self-defense. 14th Amendment was meant to protect not only blacks, but all citizens against state violence and deprivation of rights. Its framers considered the right to keep and bear arms as more fundamental than any other right, because it guaranteed one's existence and it served to protect freedom of speech and other liberties. They regarded arms possession as a fundamental right for the protection against both private and official aggression, such as that sanctioned under color of law or committed by state agents, which in 1966 was an issue of the day, right? Since arms would always exist, including those in the hands of a potentially oppressive government, all people, by the standards of the Second and 14th Amendments, may be armed for self-defense. It's a wordy way of saying it, but it's good to have knowledge of the pieces of history that make up the perceptions that we've got of the past. Pink, talking about FN. He's a big fan of the FN. I guess he was, where was this? Is this the Edison Museum? I forget where he was at. Or he was at some car museum maybe, but he's looking at a motorcycle made by FN. Unless he's at FN. I don't know where he was. Roy is saying maybe the younger viewers pay more attention with the sound effects. Why can't I get that to pop up on the screen? Oh, I definitely agree. Well, I guess I don't need this guy on the screen anymore. He's not doing anything. I definitely agree, and that's the frustrating part of it, is that they're pandering to that, or they're letting that become part of it. All right, so this is wait a minute. No. Oh, dang. For a minute, I thought this was at our museum. I guess I wasn't paying attention when I seen this. This is a Pave Hawk, but it's going to the Air Force Museum in Ohio. Dang, I thought it was coming out here. So the Pave Hawk is essentially a Black Hawk that's set up for rescue work. So instead of going in and killing stuff, it goes in and kills stuff to save stuff, to kill stuff on the way back out. They're pretty awesome. They run them out of Tucson. Well, some of them get run out of Tucson. So I was hoping that we would have one here. Patch Club official. You're not supposed to see this. I don't know if it's legal for me to show this to you or not. But this is a buck around and find out item that they have. It's allegedly available at this moment. Oh, there's Apologetically Arms joining us. All unapologetically armed. Welcome. We've had some internet issues today, but we're coming through them okay. Moving my mic around. It's probably not a good idea. I heard my mic is failing, but little dude is laying down here, so we'll get little dude camera set up. He's exhausted from doing stuff all the time. He has to watch me do things, and he has to listen to me do things all the time. And sometimes I don't pay enough attention to him, and that gets exhausting. And so he's just sleeping right now. I've had worse co-hosts. All right, we'll put him down in the corner again. I'm not supposed to have dogs on a podcast about Second Amendment. I've been told about that. So we'll quickly get rid of that dog and shove him down there in the corner. Bannerman Castle. You ever heard of it? This was World Photography Day, and this is a picture of the castle from 107 years ago. How do you know it's that old? Because it still has this piece of it, and that blew up. So that was the first chunk of it to blow up. So when Bannerman built the place, it was one warehouse kind of underneath it here. And then this was, I believe, the second part of it to be expanded. And then it started to be expanded up to look more like a castle. But at this point, when he had this much of the place and it was in construction still, he decided to put all the black powder in here. And let's keep in mind that when the Spanish-American War ended, Bannerman bought everything that was left over from both sides. So when they ended the Spanish-American War and everybody went home, Bannerman bought everything that was left on the battlefield from both sides, all the guns and bullets and everything. So millions and millions and millions of rounds of ammo and all these things. So this is where he put all the black powder, and not to mention the cannons, whatever cannons shot back then, black powder by the pound probably. He put all that in that container. I don't know if anybody knows what started it really, because there's no way to know, but either static electricity or some dumbass lighting. I can't imagine anybody lighting a cigarette or something, but something happened one night and it went off, and it shook the whole area, as you can imagine. But that's how you know that the picture was taken sometime before that, and there'd been a window between when the whole thing existed and that got blown up. So it had to be in that little window. But very cool. And for this picture to have been taken was, I would assume, one of many, because this would have been taken from a boat. And back in the day, you had to leave a picture go for a little while. So this probably took a bunch of, shots before they got this shot. It's also neat that you can see the full breakwaters before they were all kind of fell apart and eroded. So super cool, super, super cool. Bannerman Castle is in New York. If you ever go there, check it out before it falls apart. Then you've got, what's this say? There's an NRA saying DC turns into a war zone, surges in homicide, abuse, robberies, carjackings, and stuff. It says, under the mayor and DC gun control obsessed leadership, DC has turned into a war zone. Homicides are up by 27% and all the rest. While crime surged, these gun haters rigidly enforce DC's. So this is what we get from NRA, and it's what we'd expect to see from NRA. You know, nah, we told you so. So, you know, what do we expect from NRA? Whatever. But I'll use this as a line in the road. You know, we have the center line, we have the curb, we've got the individual lane markers, right? We've got these things that give us the playing field. We know where the boundaries are, so we know what NRA is going to do, and they're doing what they lean into, the haha, I told you so. But we definitely don't need to leave it here, and this is an example of not that I'm supporting this as much as observing this. This is fine. I mean, do what they're going to do. At least they're not buying a suit or whatever. But this leaves plenty of opportunity for organizations to actually offer conversation or awareness, you know, besides the "we told you so." So we have a situation that is a result of failed policy. We can rub it in their face, or we can have a conversation about it, and that's what I'm hoping for, to see some national level, or at least regional, local level, that's powerful enough to sit at a table with organizations, or at least sit at a table with enough microphones to get the word out and create awareness, to break through this back and forth ping pong game bullshit and break that dynamic, and use this situation that we see all too often, instead of as a bullshit political feel good win, softball to your own side bullshit nothing, and use the situation and turn it around and create some policies that don't fail, create policies that empower the individuals, and then result in less violence, no violence, and then a lack of ability to complain about guns, essentially. So it's greedy, but it's also an opportunity to help a lot of people to get our goals. So, you know, whatever. I'm not going to say shame on the NRA. They are what they are. But, you know, I'm not going to heart this one either. Gun control is violence. I always bring this up too. I know it's you. If you leave them never remember this shit, then it's a dishonor to the people who had to deal with the tyranny. It also suggests that we don't have tyranny. And I'm not saying that we have tyranny, but we have fucking tyranny once in a while. So the Weavers, Ruby Ridge, essentially minding their fucking business in the middle of nowhere, bugged by the government to do something until they did 1/2 inch of something that they were urged to do, and then the result of it was they shot the mom, the baby, and the dog. It's messed up, and it leaves skepticism and question about the federal authority and whatever. So even if you don't see anything wrong with this, you have to see the optics as being horrible, and the way that the system is built, there's no one that lives at the head of these organizations to have legacy, which is good. But the result of that is that there's no one there with any kind of actual soul. So we have to understand that and don't drop a soul on them. But at the same time, let's not forget that we have a soulless government, and that's what we want. So we don't get to say, oh, our government doesn't have a soul. We just have to remember that it doesn't have a soul, and, you know, act accordingly, expect accordingly. Speaking of Stephen Holbrook, America's English settlers possessed the types of firearms extant at the time. I don't know what that means. Existing at the time. Muskets, something, carbines, blunderbusses. I got a blunderbuss. Fowlers, pistols. Able-bodied males were required to obtain their own firearms that would be suitable for defensive use and participate in the militia, which would be each colony's defense force. The most dramatic changes in firearms technology concern the ignition systems, that in the manner in which a spark would ignite the gunpowder to expel the bullet. Jamestown settlers in 1607 mostly had matchlocks, although there were some wheel locks and snapchuses. Matchlock used a slow-burning match that would be brought down to ignite the priming powder. With the wheel lock, pyrites would create sparks that would do the same, the striking steel to induce a spark. Each was an improvement that allowed faster loading and more reliable discharge. When John Smith left Jamestown in 1609, he recorded that the settlement had 490 old people, 24 pieces of ordnance, 300 muskets, snappachuses, and firelocks, shot powder, and match. Oh my gosh, a bunch of other words. And well over half of the males settlers thus had firearms. Okay, so essentially he's saying there was 490 old people, I think, and they pretty much all had some kind of weapon. And then this is an illustration of Captain John Smith trading with the Indians. Let's see. Anyway, I'm not going to go on that one. We've got about 10 minutes for the next show. So here's Tony talking about the diversity issue.
We're going to be here on August 31st. And I can't wait to see you. We're here from 6 to 9. Hold on. Turn it onto the street. We're here from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We're introducing people to firearms. We're introducing them to the Second Amendment organization that fight for their right to bear arms. We're eating pizza, having raffles, and having fun. We're here to break the negative stereotype that the mainstream media has about firearms owners and to educate all people on the natural right of self-defense. Come out to the diversity shoot, have some fun. No matter who you are, you're welcome. You're a human being. This is your right, because the Second Amendment should be apolitical. And we want to see you here, introduce you safely to firearms, you and your family and friends. See you then, August 31st, 6 p.m., 9 p.m. Hey, it's Tony Simon.
It's almost like Tony said that a few times.
All right, so this video is for all my people out there who have nice cars. And when I say nice cars, I don't necessarily mean just like Ferraris and Lambos, but any car that kind of gives any indication that you have some type of money or doing at least decent for yourself.
How do I mute this?
Stop.
Keep going. So he's going to keep going about you're not supposed to go straight home. You're supposed to be scared. And I don't know. I didn't quit listening to the video. I quit listening to the video about this point in it. So what's up with that? You think that we live in a time when it's worth giving broadcasting advice that you need to be so worried about driving home as to be tactical about driving home? I mean, obviously some people live in certain situations, but to broadcast it as if it's a necessity or an urgency, I didn't get it. This is Tennessee and the DC project.
Okay, we survived. It's honestly, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. It was good. Okay, so let me introduce Ashley. She's new to this little trio here.
So they're going to talk for a bit, introduce Ashley, and talk about being in Tennessee. So the DC project is showing up in Tennessee because of their overwhelming. What's the word? They have a whole bunch of the Moms Demand there showing up. So Diana's talking about this. Oh, she's going to talk about printing for a second. But essentially, she's saying.
He's not just showing a boob shot.
So she says that they got to go into the courthouse.
We were able to take our firearms into the building, and that's not always the case. So, way to go, Tennessee!
So I thought that was pretty cool. So they took a while to get to it, but Tennessee let them in. And now they wrap it up.
And I are here in Nashville.
And this is the one where they talk about the number of Moms Demand that are there.
So we are headed to the Tennessee State Capitol for the special session that's starting today on gun control. So there's a lot of haters out there. There's a lot of drama expected to happen, not from us, but stay tuned. We're going to cover it for you. Our press conference is at 12:30, so say a prayer for us.
It would have been interesting to see. I wish that would get more coverage, more documentation, more eyeballs on the ladies and their results. So we get NRA exploiting the situation where something happened and people love to, what's that called? Like after the fact, cheer about shit. So obviously some people are capable and can take care of business without making a big fuss, and they're going to exploit that, and people are going to meme that. It's going to be the way it is. It's just the way it is. So we're just going to, then there's security cameras everywhere and people are willing to share them. This is the kind of stuff, we're just going to have to evolve to that level, I guess. This is the place that
Federal delivers a knockout punch with the leading defensive ammo on the market.
Sounds like Rapid Fire Radio is starting up. So Kilo Niner is the ones that hooked us up with the little dude's sweatshirt and his tactical vest. So this is a little behind the scenes at Kilo Niner. They're out of California.
So it can't get filed, at least not now.
Oh, shit, I'm not allowed to play the music. So, but that's a pretty cool little video. Bunch of little puppy dogs with their outfits and whatnot. So Stephen Holbrook saying Cicero argued that there's a philosophical vindication of the right to self-defense and by implication the right to keep and bear arms. Blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. I'm not going to get into this one because Cape Cod Works has already started up. But what do you think? I mean, there's a certain amount of people that fall to the 1776 shall not be infringed. What's the other one? My property, my rights. Those are really adjacent to each other if they're not right on top of each other. And then there's a bunch of people that are God-given rights, right? There's a whole bunch of people there that make that whole distinction, like, okay, we're about the whole God-given part. And that's, none of these are wrong or nothing. There's people's stances and their focus. What do you think about the people that are like, whatever you call the Roman, other things? What was the other ones? The Spartans, wherever it is they might come from, that has some sort of stoic perception or whatever philosophy. Is that effective in 2023? Talking to the people we're talking to in 2023 with the arguments that are coming in from the other side. What I think used to be taken for granted by both sides is different. It's not up for grabs. It was up for grabs years ago, and it's been grabbed, redistributed, and we're living in a different situation. So I don't know how effective this stuff is. Give me some feedback on that. Another one from DC Project. What do you know?
I used to work for Representative Holmes years ago. Okay. Yeah.
So now you've got another inside look at what's going on in Tennessee. So they gave this situation, this issue, a room inside of the Tennessee situation. So you're telling me the state of Tennessee, this is the resource they're able to give firearms legislation? Unless this is just the press release room. I might be wrong. This might be just the press release room, in which case this is probably a room that's set up, and it's good to see that we're filling it up. But if this is the room where the whole thing's happening, then that's messed up. I guess that's wrong. They'd be doing that on some kind of a larger room, right? So this is probably just the press release room. But it's some indicator. And plus, look how many DC Project ladies right here. So that's probably the press release thing. So pretty good turnout. And we get what we get from the video, I guess. If only Krabby Turtle was there, right? You know what I'm saying? Am I right? So we got Bannerman Castle. I've talked about this one before. Big fan of the place. Looks like they've got something going on. Some person maybe doing something, maybe art. I don't know. On August, I'm just basically posting because I like the place. Goal, I like Massachusetts. I don't like people that desecrate our flag. I don't like having our flag wiped around shit, but whatever. Goal keeps doing this. We got to pay attention to what's happening in Massachusetts. They can make it a little easier by not ruining our flag while they do it, but whatever. Alan Anchor is here in Arizona, copyrighting me. And guess what? They make stickers, and this is how fast they're able to make them. Now, if you don't order them, they'll delete them like that. But if you make them and order them, then they'll make them. And not only do they have robots scribbling them out like that, but they have robots that they've given knives to that cut them out of there. So if you want real stickers made with robots in Arizona by humans, Alan Anker can hook you up. There's another one from the DC Project. Nice picture. I'm assuming from that room now. I guess now that I'm paying more attention, that's probably the press release room. Would this have been a better picture out front of the Capitol? Was it raining or something? But that's a pretty good picture. Then some random shots from inside of there, I guess. I don't know who any of these people are. Did I getting tagged? No. A bunch of ladies. And there's a picture of the moms. Oh, you know what? In one of these videos that I haven't played the whole audio of, they talk about how they had a pretty good, somebody from the DC Project had a decent conversation with somebody from the Demanders, the Mom Demanders, the MDA, the Demand Association. These are some discreet shots because nobody wants to get accused of being a weirdo or whatever, but appreciate the perspective on the other side of the issue. And it looks like there was certainly, they were outnumbered. I forgot what they said, 10-1. So antis, people who hate rights and want to take your rights away, to 10% of the ladies trying to make people understand that if you take away one dangerous thing, people don't become harmless and nice to each other. And that what you end up with is the person who's biggest winning everything every time. Well, I guess that's the end. So that's the end. We're going to suggest you head over to the Cape A Gun Works, which is just playing music right now. But this is a radio show that streams their show live Wednesdays. And again, they're a gun shop in Massachusetts. They've been doing this for a while now, many years, so they've got it down. Toby is he's knowledgeable about guns. He's aware of the issues in Massachusetts as well as the country, and he's definitely quick on his feet and able to keep kind of tally and monitor the live conversation that's happening, as well as the callers and people that come in, and keeps the show interesting without getting a lot of these dead. What do you call these things? Dead ends or whatever I do. So much better show. If you want to go check it out, it looks like it's literally starting right now. So thanks everybody for joining us. Unapologetic Arm says there's a video of the conference that a local news aired in full. Oh, awesome. Thank you very much for that. And I'll attempt to put that link into the description of this video so that people get it if you're watching this after. It looks like Chris from 740 is out there. Thank you very much. And really appreciate that tablet that you sent, as well as the tablet holder thingy. Like, much appreciated very much in the last few days. And Gizzard, I think I said hey to Gizzard out there earlier. And we said hey to Roy. All right, with that, I'll throw a quick commercial out here for our store. Feel free to grab stuff from over there. It helps keep our servers and our cable bill going. See you next on Saturday with Ask Gun Questions.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
Shit. Ninja? Ninja! Ninja!
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America.
I'd like to apologize to everyone for having a little puppy on this show. I know this rubs a lot of people the wrong way. It rubs them this way, when in reality, this is the way the puppies like to be rubbed.